Hello, welcome to my channel today. This is a King's Tutor. Okay, if it's the first time of joining us, please kindly subscribe to our channel. Click on the red subscribe button, like, comment, share this video so that we get to more students. Okay, now in the previous video we saw demand. We're looking on demand. Now we saw the definition of demand. We saw the law of demand. We saw the demand schedule, the demand curve. We saw the types of demand. Now I want to advance, want to talk on factors affecting demand, change in quantity demanded, and shift or change in demand. Now, we define demand as the willingness and the ability of a consumer to purchase a given quantity of a commodity at a given price at a particular period of time. Okay, so now we said we are going to start with the factors. Now, what are factors affecting demand? Now, it means that these are things that makes people either increase the quantity they purchase or what, reduce it. That's what we mean by what factors what affecting demand. Okay, it might affect it positively or what, negatively. That it makes the consumer either increase their purchase for commodity or reduce it. Okay, one of the factors affecting demand is the price. One of it is the price of the commodity. Okay, so we have said in the first law of demand that the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded, and the lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. And what it means is that if the price is high, less of the commodity will be demanded, and if the price is less, higher of the commodity will be what, demanded. So the price is one of the factors that affects what, demand. That is the quantity that will be purchased by consumer. Another one is price of other commodity. Price of other commodity. Now, price of other commodity is another factor that affects an individual demand. Now, while we're looking at the previous video, if you have not seen that video, I advise you watch that before this. Okay, I'll drop the link above or in my description. Okay, so the factors, the price of other commodities. Now, when we are talking about the types of demand, we made mention of the competitive or substitute demand. We said these are demand that of close substitute. Okay, now price of other commodity. If there's an increase in the price of a substitute product, we said it will lead to what, an increase in the demand. That is, people will start switching. Okay, so the price of other commodity is one of the factors that affect the demand of a particular commodity. The next one is income of the consumer. The income of the consumer stands as one of the reasons also, one of the factors that affect the demand. If the income of the consumer increases, they may also increase their purchase. But if it comes down, if it reduces, they can also reduce their purchase. Another one is population. Population is one of the factors affecting demand. It means that because these items will be purchased by humans, okay? So if there's an increase in population in a given area, it will increase the quantity that is purchased. Or if it is a decrease in the population, it will also lead to a decrease in the commodity being purchased. Okay. Another one is taxation. Taxation is a compulsory levy imposed by the government or its agency on individual or on goods and services. Okay, on individuals' income, on goods and services. Now, taxation affects the purchasing power. So if there's an increase in tax, it tends to reduce the income. Okay, it tends to reduce the income in terms of personal income tax. It tends to reduce the income of the individual, and by so doing, it can affect their purchasing power to purchase for more items. So one of the items that affect the demand is taxation. Okay, so we can also have weather and climate. Weather and climate. Now, if there's a favorable weather, it can also helps in the increase in the purchase. Why the reverse is the case. So these are some of the factors that affect demand. We have many other. We have change in the taste of the consumer. When consumer taste of a particular product changes, they might tend to what? Reduce their purchase of that art item. Okay, so those are factors that affect demand. Now, I want to see on another topic, another aspect that is very important, which is change in quantity demand. And what is change in quantity demand? Now, in economics, the change in quantity demand means a movement from one point to another on a demand curve. Okay, a movement from one point to another on a demand curve. Change in quantity demand is caused. Now, listen, very important. It is caused by only price of the commodity. Out of all the factors affecting demand, what causes change in quantity demand is what? The price of the commodity. That is, if the price increases, there can be what? Increase in the quantity. If the price increases, there might be decrease in the quantity. Why, if the price reduces, there might be increase in the what? In the quantity demanded. Okay, so the change in quantity demanded, we are trying to look at why is there a change in the quantity purchased by what? The consumer, and this is caused by only the price of the commodity itself. Okay, we say it's a movement along on the same what? Demand curve. A change in quantity demanded is of two types. There can be what? An increase in the quantity demanded and a decrease in the quantity demanded. Okay, now we'll say, for instance, it can be increase in the quantity demanded, and it can be decrease in the quantity demanded. Okay, now when there is increase in the quantity demanded, we're talking about the change now. When there's increase in the quantity demanded, it means that there have been a decrease in the price. Okay, because a consumer can only increase their quantity in terms of the law of demand when the price has gone down. Okay, so if we represent it on a graph, for instance, if we represent it on a graph, and let's say this is the price. Let's say the first price is 10, and these are the quantity. Let's say this is 50 and this is 100. Now, when it is 50, when it is 10, let's say this is 20. When it is 10, okay, the price they demanded for 100 quantity. This is price. Now we are illustrating increase in quantity. Okay. Okay. When it is let's start from this. When it is 20, they purchased 50. Okay. When it is 20, they purchased 50. Now when it is 10, let's have something like this. Now look up. Now this is a quantity axis. Now what this is showing is that a decrease in the price leads to an increase in the quantity. This is a demand curve. Now what it means is that if the price goes down, the quantity will go up in terms of the law of demand. So that is what we call increase in the quantity demanded. That is what it is caused by price. You are saying it. So we said these two belongs to what? Change in quantity demanded. Okay? So an decrease in the price leads to an increase in quantity. So increase in quantity demanded is when there's a decrease in the price. And it is shown in this diagram, that when price reduces, the quantity increases. In the same way, the other part of the change in quantity is a decrease in quantity. A decrease in quantity arises when there's an increase in the price of the commodity. So when price goes up, consumer has to reduce their quantity to be purchased. Now, look at it. Now, if the same thing, if this is 10, and this is 20, and this is 50, and this is 100. Now, if we have Now this is decrease in the quantity. Watch. When it is 10 naira as a price, they purchase 100. Now they increase the price. Look at the arrow going up. It increased from 10 to 20. The quantity they purchase reduced from 100 to what? To 50. Okay? So if the price increased, the quantity was reduced. So that is how to represent in the graph that decrease in what? In quantity. The decrease in what? In quantity. Okay? So it arises when there's an increase in price, the quantity what? Goes back. So those are the two aspects of a change in quantity demand. I remember we said it is caused by price. That's the only reason why there will be change in quantity. Okay? Now another one is shift or change in demand. Now shift or change in demand is quite different. Most people mistaking it to be the same with the quantity demanded. It's different from what? Change in quantity demanded. Shift or change in demand is a situation whereby at the old price, more or less is being demanded. This situation will lead to a new demand schedule, a new demand curve. Okay, this is where the demand curve moves to an entirely new position. Okay, now the change or shift in demand is caused by all factors affecting demand except the price. Remember the first one, we said the change in quantity demanded is caused by only price. But for this now, it is caused by all other factors affecting demand except the price. Okay? Now, the shift or change in demand also has two types. It can be increase in demand or decrease in demand. Okay? Now, if we look at it now, the increase in demand. The first one can be increase in demand. Now, when there's increase in demand is when there is a favorable situation. Remember we said other factors affecting demand except the price. Now look at how it looks in the demand curve. This can be 50 and this can be 100. That's the quantity. Okay, so now look up at this point now. This increase in demand, it means at that same old price, now this is the first demand. That's D0. This is the new one, D1. Now what it means is that when the price is 10, this is the price. When the price is 10, the first demand was 50. But due to a favorable factor affecting demand, probably an increase in the income of the consumer, it is a positive change. It can make the consumer at that same price to increase their purchase. So if they do that, look at the arrow, meaning there's an increase in that same price, that shift. Unlike the previous, whereby it is caused by the price, the change in the price. Okay, this one at that same old price, more when it is increase in demand. Okay, so that is the graphical representation. Also, we can also have decrease in demand. Now, decrease in demand will arise when there's a negative, situation that affects demand. Okay, for instance, if the income of a consumer reduces, it can affect him to reduce the purchase of an item, even at that same old price. So let's look at it in this. For instance, if the price still remains as 10, and we have the quantity as 50, and this is as 100. So the first price, let's say, when it is 10, they are purchasing at this, and also this. Now, this is the old, and this is the new D1. Now, this is indicating decrease in demand. It means that when it is 10, this was the first purchase. They purchased 100. But due to negative situation that affect demand, will lead to decrease. It came back at that same old price to 50. Unlike this that increased. Okay, so that is the graphical representation of shift in demand. Okay, so we are going to get into other aspects of demand as we progress. Demand is a very wide topic in economics, so we are going to see other aspects. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Please share this video, let it get to other people. Okay, and also comment beneath the video in the comment section your level, your school. Okay, so that I get to know the videos I'll do. Thank you very much.